You can listen to that this afternoon's game on BBC Sounds as well. All you have to do is ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Newcastle. Elsewhere in the Premier League this afternoon into the 3 o'clock kickoffs, and it's Bournemouth against Burnley at the Vitality. Manchester City, they play West Ham at the Etihad. Wolves take on Brentford, and at the 5:30 it's Tottenham against Liverpool at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And then later on this evening, 2 8 o'clock kickoffs this evening. Everton up against Arsenal, and then Leeds United, they welcome Crystal Palace to Ellen Road this evening. There are 3 early Championship games this afternoon. Blackburn against Millwall, Preston against Norwich, and Southampton against Coventry. And then Middlesbrough at 3 o'clock, they are away to Bristol City. Non-league wise, this weekend in the National League, Gateshead are at home to Eastleigh, but that one is tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock kickoff. And back to today, though, in National League North, South Shields, they are away to Chester. In the NPL Premier, our featured game this afternoon, Hebburn Town, who are second in the league, they could go top this afternoon if other results go their way. They're up against Guiseley. Paul Dixon will be there. I'll be having a chat with him at half-time in the Newcastle match as well. In the NPL East Division, last night 2 games for our local sides. Blythe Spartans were up against Concert. Concert winning that one 2-1 there. So good away win for Concert. Here is their manager, Jason Miller.
To be fair to them, the caused problems today with their shape, and it was hard to play against. It's always a tough place to come. They've got good support here and they got behind them. But I was really proud of the lads today because I just think they stood up to the test we had, and I thought we deserved the 3 points. I knew they'd have a go second half. I said at half time we're going to get a bit of a reaction at half time and come out with a bit more, and they did. But it was a great time to score. And I've just said to the lads, to be a little bit critical, and it's difficult after a performance like that, but we should have really took some more chances and been out of sight, I think.
So a good result for Concert then this afternoon. Also last night, Dunstan were playing. They were against Blythe Town. Dunstan, who are in those playoff places, were against Blythe Town, who are more towards the bottom of the table, second bottom at Blythe Town. And so Dunstan expected a win, and they got that. They won 3-0 last night. Here is their manager, John McDonald.
Yeah, I thought we played really well in the first half. I said to the players at half-time, I was disappointed that we only went in 2 goals to the good, because I thought we created enough chances to score more than 2 goals. Some really good chances. And at 2-0 in this division, it's never enough. I thought Blythe came out and had a go for the first 50 minutes of the second half, and I thought we put our bodies on the line when we needed to, and I felt like once the 3rd goal went in, I felt pretty comfortable after that, and I thought some of the stuff we played tonight overall was good. It's been a tough week, we've had Bishop Auckland, Heaton away on Tuesday, and Blythe tonight, 3 local teams, and we've took 7 from 9, so I'm really pleased with that.
That is the Dunster manager, John McDonald, there talking after their 3-0 win over Blythe Town last night. This afternoon then in the East Division, Ashington, they are away to Bishop Auckland, and Heatonstan's game with Redcar Athletic has been postponed. Tomorrow in the Women's Super League 2, Durham are away to Birmingham, Newcastle away to Portsmouth, and Sunderland are at home to Ipswich. All kick off at 2 o'clock. Away from football and rugby union, tomorrow the Newcastle Red Bulls welcome Bath. It's a bottom v top scenario in the Premier. Red Bulls come into the game with a couple of Challenge Cup wins under their belts, though. Head coach Alan Dickens says they'll be competitive in what should be a very challenging encounter.
I look back at the games we played against Bath last year, twice up here, once in the League and the Prem Cup, and then again back end of the season. There were 3 games that we were in the game. We were fighting well, and unfortunately away at Bath we were down to spend a lot of the periods with 14 men. So we showed a lot of character in those games, and as you said, we've come off the back of 2 good performances, and as I keep saying, we want to build. All we talk about is the process, and I know you probably hear lots of coaches up and down the country say exactly that, and we get that right. And as I've already talked about, the facets of the game that we work hard on, getting those together in an 80-minute performance is the aim. So we do that. We give ourselves a chance to get the results that we work hard for.
That is the Newcastle Red Bulls head coach Alan Dickens. They're talking ahead of their game with Bath tomorrow at Kingston Park. Kickoff is at 2 o'clock. Dean Gray will have full match commentary of that one through the BBC Sport website And up into the darts in the World Championship. We're into the second round. Chris Dobie from Bedlington, he plays tonight. He's against Andrew Gilding. And then tomorrow, Newcastle's Ryan Joyce is in action as well. Callan Ridds isn't in action until Tuesday. Basketball, and last night, the Newcastle Eagles, they beat the Leicester Riders 98 points to 85. And in the Women's Super League basketball tomorrow, the Newcastle Eagles are away to the Caledonian Gladiators. Tip-off tomorrow is at 2 o'clock. In the ice hockey tonight, the Whitley Warriors, they are away to the Aberdeen Lynx in the Scottish National League face-off is at 7:15. To the cricket then, and Australia edge closer to retaining the Ashes after another dominant display on day 4 of the third test in Adelaide. England closed the day on 207 for 6 in their second innings, still needing another 228 runs for victory. Australia lead the 5-match series 2-0. Zach Crawley top scored for England with 85, and he's been speaking to the BBC's Henry Moran.
We're never going to give up. And every time you bat, it's an opportunity against the top opposition in their home country. So, we all saw it as a great opportunity to try and do something special. And obviously, they bowled well, and we're up against it now. But we were never going to give up.
Realistically, the Ashes have gone, barring something very unusual. How is that dressing room?
We came here to win the Ashes, and it looks like the boys are going to give it a good crack tomorrow, and we won't give it to them, but we're probably up against it. So yeah, it's flat, but disappointed we haven't quite performed how we wanted to, and fair play to Australia, they've been quality throughout.
Has it surprised you, the level of performance that Australia have provided, particularly given that some of their bowling attack coming back into the squad, some missing?
No, it hasn't surprised me, to be honest. I know how good they are in their home country. They're a very good side in these conditions, and in all conditions, to be honest, they've got great players all over the place, and their bowling attack especially. I mean, I don't know how many wickets it is. It's in the thousands, I know, but it's they're a top side, and we have to be at our best to get something out of it, and we've been probably just short of that. But there's still time to put that right.
A miracle needed in Adelaide, you would feel, if England were to turn that around. The final day begins tonight at 11:30 p.m. Of course, commentary with the TMS team on BBC Radio 5 Live Sports Extra. And finally, in boxing, Britain's 2-time heavyweight world champion Anthony Joshua needed 6 rounds to stop Jake Paul last night in Miami. Joshua was heavily tipped to win the bout, but he needed more than half of the fight to secure the knockout.
There was a lot riding on this fight, a lot of pressure, a lot of expectations, so I had to perform. A lot of people doubt me, and I had boxing on my back today. I took Jake as serious as I needed to, but most importantly, I take myself as serious as I need to. I respect myself, I respect boxing, and I know what it takes to get in the ring. You have to be prepared, and one slip-up could cost you in that ring. Credit to Jake, I'll stand on that. I'm not going to sit up here. If he would have beaten me, he would bash me. You know that, right? Imagine him up here now. They would have torn me and Eddie apart. But I'm not going to do that to Jake. I'm going to give him the credit. But if he wants to stay at the top level at heavyweight, he needs to work harder, because it's very difficult. It's a very difficult division to reign in.
Yeah, more reaction to that on the BBC Sport website and app for now. But now on BBC Radio Newcastle, it's time for us to head back to St James's Park to continue build-up to Newcastle United against Chelsea in the Premier League in the company of Matthew Racebeck and John Anderson.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
You do have a Christmas connection with your name. What do you drink by the fireside? Smooth and velvety.
Bailey's! That is an absolute win. Do you know what I used to say? My chat-up line. Just imagine we've met on a night out. You're looking into my eyes. The name's Matt Bailey. Like the drink, only smoother.
And then I would reply with a...
Oh, gosh. Oh, God. Right, do that sound again, Pete. I've gone all red. I'm flushed.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
Weekdays from 6. Just ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Newcastle. Total Sport Northeast.
Matthew Racebeck and black and white legend John Anderson.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Thanks very much to Dom James in the studio. Looking forward to Newcastle United against Chelsea.
Yeah. You were talking about people being on the drink.
Yeah?
What do you want?
Well, it's soup.
Yeah, but tell the listeners what type of soup it is.
It's tomato soup, but it's been rebranded, rebadged for Christmas as Bloody Mary soup. But there's nothing. What's the word? Nothing extra in it. It's tomato and what is it? Tomato, pepper, Worcester sauce. Is that right? I'm not sure.
And a drop of vodka, I think.
Could do with it on a cold day.
And a bit of basil.
Yeah. Help warm us up.
Yeah.
It's it's an early one, isn't it, for supporters to get their teeth into. But hey, if they start early, get an early goal, that will give the crowd something, won't it? We talk about it a lot, and we don't want to labour the point too much. Maybe we already are, but sometimes the early kickoffs, they definitely lack something.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, obviously it's finished before 3 o'clock game start. Everything is done with television scheduling in mind, isn't it? Early start for Chelsea supporters to get up here from West London or wherever they're coming from. They've brought a couple of thousand. It's a good away following. But then the kickoff time, from the point of view of the manager or the players, yes, it might be a factor, but they're so used to playing at different times, different parts of the day, all over the world, these players, that it probably shouldn't matter too much. But I do think the lack of preparation time might be an issue this week.
It doesn't help. I mean, we've said this for a while now, though, that all we're doing is playing, resting, preparing for the next game. Very, very difficult to get in the training ground and get any real work into players, because they're just playing so many games at this moment in time, and that, as we said earlier, that's going to continue till probably the end of February.
Yes, until at least. And of course they want it to go on longer, because they want to make the knockout round of the Champions League beyond a playoff round, which seems the most likely for them now. You never know, they could still get through automatically, and then that would give them the luxury of 2 free midweeks in February. But all of that is to come. 2 more European games, 1 here, 1 away at the end of next month. It's the Premier League for now. And here at St James's Park, Newcastle United with 4 changes. Ramsdale in goal, Miley, Chow, Cher, Hall, Bruno, Tanali, Ramsey, Murphy, Gordon and Voltemada. Jacob Ramsey, you liked the look of him in his first couple of appearances, Ando. He got the injury at Leeds, came back, I think he played well. I think it was Benfica when he started, had a good game, but in and out since then. But I think the general consensus is that he did pretty well the other night. We haven't seen him at his best yet, though, and it might take a run of games for him to do that. With Joe Linton not fit to start but on the bench, then Ramsey might get his opportunity in the coming weeks to start regularly.
Yeah, I thought he did okay the other night. Started at Leeds, picked up that injury, hasn't been able to get a run of games. I think you really need a run of games, to get into your stride. It's very, very difficult. But it started the other night, he gets another opportunity today. We'll see how it goes. But again, something we spoke about earlier on, with the amount of games that we've got, a lot of games on top of each other. It's all about rotating and looking after players and making sure players are ready to go. Saying would have liked to have seen Wissa start again, but he's been out such a long time, and as well as he played the other night, you still got to make sure that he's looked after, and he's not try and get too much into him too quick, I suppose is probably what I'm trying to say. I'm sure we will see him at some stage today, because, as I say, I thought the other night he did well. He did very well, actually. He got the goal, but not just the goal, his movement, his all-round game was good.
Yeah. Newcastle with their 4 changes, Chelsea with the depth of squad and the ability in their team to comfortably make 11 changes in the Cup, bring on some big names at Cardiff to ensure that they got through to the semi-finals of the League Cup, and today make 10 changes. Only Moises Caicedo keeps his place in the 11. Sanchez in goal, Gusto, Chalobah, Fofana, Cucurella, James and Caicedo, Neto, Palmer, Garnacho, and leading the Chelsea attack, a player Newcastle tried to sign, and it's João Pedro, who went to Chelsea from Brighton for £60 million in July. Newcastle have gone back in for him in the summer, 3 years after they first attempted to get him when he was a Watford player, although their pursuit of him was unsuccessful on each occasion. He's somebody Eddie Howe thinks a lot of.
Yeah, I think João's a very, very good player. Technically, he's excellent. He can come in and link play. He's got a physical presence. He can lead the line. He's got that stature in his game, and he's a scorer of good goals. So I haven't watched him independently. I've watched Chelsea. I've watched a lot of their games, as always, in preparation for this game. And he'd be one of the very good attacking players we'll have to control.
He is a versatile forward, which is what they were looking for in the summer. A penalty taker, but a goal scorer. That said, he's only got one in his last 7 after a decent start to the season. And they would really have liked him, but he chose Chelsea, which, you know, he wasn't the only player to turn down the opportunity to come to Newcastle in the summer. Are you a fan of João Pedro, Ando?
Yeah, he's decent. Yeah, you know, he's looks a confident boy as well. I think his heart was always set on going to Chelsea, and I think when a player sets his heart on going somewhere, I think it's very, very difficult for you to change his mind. And look, obviously we weren't the only ones that were interested in him. Chelsea were interested. There was other clubs in it as interested in him as well. But from the offset of it all, his heart seemed to be set on going to Chelsea, and that's where he's ended up.
Yeah. Their depth of squad is quite remarkable. I mean, they were at it again in the summer, making multiple attacking signings. And even today, they don't have Levi Colwill, Liam Delap, Romeo Lavia, Esteban Willian, the Brazilian wonder kid, who's 18, and he's already a superstar. He's going to be incredible in the years ahead. Dario Asugo's also out for Chelsea. There's no Jamie Gittins in the squad today either, and yet they name a brilliant bench with the likes of Enzo Fernandez on there. He was a record signing at one point, wasn't he? Enzo Fernandez, the Argentinian midfielder. They are 4th in the table. Should they be higher? Because the supporters
don't. Players they've got, you would think. Yeah. So yeah, you know, the amount of money they've spent and the amount of players that they brought in it's ridiculous, really. You know, as I said, they name a totally different side for their League Cup games. It's completely different to their Premier League side. They did the same last season in Europe. You know, they basically had a totally different squad for that. I mean, it's ridiculous the amount of players they've got. It really is.
It must be tough for Enzo Maresca to manage the situation with so many desperate to play, and there'll be a handful who are going to start if they're fit. Cole Palmer back today in the starting 11. Injury hit season, he would certainly be one of them. But they had this group of players in the summer that was called the Bomb Squad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
With like Ben Chilwell, who's now out on loan, Raheem Sterling, and others who they brought to the club, and I'm sure will be on big money. And in some cases, some of the players cost big money. And they move them on as well when their time is up, and they have to be ruthless. But with the manager, interestingly linked with Manchester City this week in the event of Pep Guardiola leaving in the summer, the Chelsea fans don't necessarily seem to have taken Enzo Maresca to their hearts, despite winning the Club World Cup, the Conference League.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it? But yeah, he seems to have split supporters. And then he came out with that strange statement, was it last week or the week before, when he had that rant, and, you know, but yeah. It makes you wonder what he wants, actually. You know, when you see the amount of players that he's got and the amount of quality players that he's got, you know, other managers would be rubbing their hands at that. You know, I know he's got big decisions to make about who plays and who doesn't, and who's in the squad and who's not, but I'm sure an awful lot of managers would sooner have that than worrying about, well, I've got to pick a couple of I've got to put a couple of kids on the bench to make up the numbers.
Eddie Howe being one of them, with his lack of defenders, with
I mean,
6 or 7 of them out today.
Maresca doesn't have that worry, does he?
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Newcastle United against Chelsea here on BBC Radio Newcastle. Another cup semi-final to look forward to. Well placed to progress in Europe, but the manager knows their Premier League form needs to improve, and this is how he thinks they can get there.
If you look at us statistically, goal creation has been our biggest issue. I think statistically we're the second best defensive team in the Premier League this year, which is no mean feat. Despite the fact we've conceded late goals, our defensive structures have been pretty sound. It's with the ball and goal creation, chance creation, that has always been our big strength, seems to have deserted us a little bit, and that's the big challenge for us, is to get more output in front of goal. Get more from all areas of the team to supply chances for our front players, and our front players to contribute more in helping them do that as well. So I think that's the area we have to improve. Then you add loads of different layers on, your set plays and for and against have got to be better, and then I could go on till the end of time. In terms of the small things you need to turn good performances into more wins.
And what do you make of Chelsea this season? Your opponents, 12:30 Saturday lunchtime. Not a lot of time between games. Obviously, they had a successful summer, didn't they, at the Club World Cup? And how do you assess the way they've continued into the Premier League campaign?
Yeah, I think they're progressing. I think they continue to get better. I think there's been a lot of change at Chelsea over recent seasons. They've gone very youthful with their recruitment, and I think long term you'll definitely see the benefits of that. And I think very good manager, very good style of play, a very good team. So we're going to have to be very good, as you say. Short recovery time for us, big challenge this week. But we're looking forward to that. I think we like the early kickoffs. We love playing at home. So I think anything we can do to help swing this in our direction is important.
Total Sport Northeast.
Live from St James's Park.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
And they've got a pretty good home record. The Premier League matches, 5 wins out of 8 at St James's Park this season, which has brought them in total 16 points with a draw against Spurs as well. A different story away from home, with only 6 points from 8 games in the Premier League on their travels. Chelsea's last 2 away games have not gone their way. There was a goalless draw with Bournemouth and a 3-1 defeat at Leeds, but they have the second best away record in the Premier League. 4 wins, which were at Burnley, Spurs, Forest and West Ham. Not long now, Newcastle United back at St James's Park, just a few days after winning in the quarter-finals of the League Cup, setting up the semi-final tie over 2 legs against Manchester City. Chelsea will play the winner of Tuesday's last quarter-final between Arsenal and Crystal Palace. So these two could meet again at Wembley if they were both to get through their respective semi-final ties, but they avoided each other in the last 4. In charge of the match today, the referee Andy Madley from West Yorkshire. Last Newcastle game here was the 3-3 draw with Liverpool last December, just over a year ago. That was a cracking.
It was a great game, yeah.
Wasn't it? Yeah,
it was a great game.
Although he at the final whistle had St James's Park turning on him. Do you remember? Because Pope got the ball, threw it out, and they wanted to go on a counter-attack, and I think they were beyond the additional time period. He blew the whistle. Some referees keep playing on. They did the other night, but not Andy Madley that evening. He's last referee of a Newcastle game in February at the heavy 4-0 defeat by Manchester City away from home. Adrian Holmes and Craig Taylor are the assistants. Tom Kirk is today's 4th official, and Peter Banks is on VAR. Peter Banks, the referee in the derby last weekend, assisted by Eddie Smart. Chelsea, Robert Sanchez in goal, Malo Gusto, Trevor Chalobah, Wesley Fofana and Mark Cucurella in defence. Reece James, the captain, who now plays in midfield rather than at fullback, alongside Moises Caicedo, back from a 3-match Premier League ban, though he has been playing in other competitions during his Premier League suspension. Pedro Neto, Cole Palmer, Alejandro Garnacho and João Pedro. On the bench, Philip Jorgensen, the goalkeeper, Tosin Adarabioyo, Benoit Badiashile, Enzo Fernandez, Andre Santos, Yoral Hato, Josh Achampong, Mark Guiu and Facundo Buonanotte. Newcastle United led out by Bruno Guimaraes, and with Aaron Ramsdale in goal, wearing purple today, Lewis Miley, Malik Chow, Fabian Schär, Lewis Hall against his former club is the Newcastle back four. Bruno, Sandro Tonali, Jacob Ramsey in midfield, Jacob Murphy, Anthony Gordon and Nick Voltemade. 7 goals, level with Barnes and Gordon in all competitions, but Voltemade leads the way in Premier League terms for Newcastle with 5 league goals so far. On the bench, Ruddy, Joelinton, Wissa, Barnes, Elanga, Willock, Alex Murphy, Shahar and Neve as the players high-five the referee and shake hands with each other. Newcastle players take off their cream training jackets, and it's black and white stripes, black shorts and black socks today. Chelsea all in blue but with white socks, and the goalkeeper Sanchez wearing luminous orange. They have rearranged the order of the pre-match music. Notice this on Wednesday night against Fulham, and it must be a permanent change back to how it was, and I think many supporters will be pleased that they have reverted to the old way of what we call local hero up to kick-off and other music, including Hey Jude, Blade and Races, whatever.
Does that mean they haven't listened to the players then?
Well, it was player-led according to Eddie Howe, so that they had something that the fans could chant along to, and that would continue after the whistle started. But the roar where this music finishes is always significant. Agreed. And a big part of the pre-match feel and flavour at St James's Park, and I'm sure the return to this playlist will be met with the approval of many. Maybe some felt there was no need to mess with it in the first place.
Oh dear. Yeah.
2 huddles. Chelsea to our left-hand side, Newcastle. Everyone huddled together, and Voltemade is so tall, even when he leans over, he still towers above the rest of his teammates. They are waiting for Chelsea to break from their pre-match gathering, which is going on forever. Newcastle are lined up ready to kick off. Chelsea's still in a huddle. Oh, this is psychological.
Some conversation going on in there.
Finally, the players in blue emerge. Cole Palmer's going to kick off. Newcastle keep winning the toss, don't they, this season? They're going to shoot up to the Leazes end to our left in the first half. Miley at right back again. It's been a busy period. They get, for the first time since August, apart from international breaks, a few days off, 5 days off between this match and Boxing Day at Man United. The longest since the opening month of the season. After a hectic period, this is the 9th in 29 days that they've played, and looking to continue a good feeling that they brought back with their injury time win over Fulham in the Cup. We're underway on BBC Radio Newcastle and the Newcastle United website and app. They got the ball back through Gordon, tried to play it forwards to Voltemada and Murphy. Chelsea back to the goalkeeper. Header on from Pedro Neto, Fabian Schär. Thought about a ball back to Ramsdale. He's actually turned and clipped it up the line. Gordon inside to Ramsey. It was a nice touch. Ramsey has done well to hold off the attentions of Reece James, and Bruno plays it back to Ramsdale. But some early encouragement from the desire Newcastle have shown there to win the ball back and stay in possession. We've played a minute. And Chow onto Murphy, up to Voltemada, holds it on halfway. Thought about playing it up the line, went back to Miley. Chelsea win it, and it's at the feet of Caicedo, just behind the halfway line. Palmer rolls it to Garnacho, who started on the left. Here he is, edge of the area, back to Palmer, lifted onto the roof of the net. Ramsdale was worried there.
Yeah, I don't know whether he meant that or whether he's trying to dink at back post. But it had Ramsdale backpedaling, didn't it? First time we've seen Garnacho get on it and have a little bit of a go at young Miley.
Just held his position, Palmer, edge of the box on the line, lifted it up. It might have been a shot. He's certainly a player that's capable. Could have been a cross just onto the roof of the net. Long ball forwards. Fofana back to Sanchez. Schär beats João Pedro in the air. Tonali brings it down and then away from James, who has recovered well and then drives it in behind Hall. Ramsdale comes out to the side of the penalty area. They didn't have a lot of room, those two, that right on top of each other. Ramsdale's put it out for a throw. Second ball's come onto the pitch.
Where have we seen that before?
I'm sure the young ball girl down to our right, in line with the penalty box, didn't mean to put a ball onto the pitch to stop Chelsea taking a quick throw. But dream of doing anything like that. 0-0. Cucurella, they go all the way back to the edge of their own box. And Garnacho inside to Fofana. Ooh, Gordon got his boot on the ball, but Fofana comes away with it. Gordon wins it back properly for Tonali. On to Bruno. Wide right to Murphy. First Newcastle attack on 3 minutes. Murphy cross. Voltemada and Gordon and Voltemada! First attack and an early goal. And Nick Voltemada. Well, I don't know if it's redemption, but it is a huge lift for their record signing, who was involved in the build-up, going to convert Murphy's cross. Gordon had a go at the back stick, and then it came to Voltemada, who powered it into the back of the net. It's his 8th of the season, and in the 4th minute, Newcastle United lead Chelsea by a 1-0. And Gordon Chelsea have a player down in the box, but I don't think there's any suspicion of a foul as Newcastle continue to celebrate.
Gordon does brilliant. Does absolutely brilliant. He wins it back off Fofana and then gets on his bike and gets on the end of the initial cross. Keeper does well, gets a good stop on it and falls invitingly for Voltemada, who just blasts it into the roof of the net.
Caicedo slips in front of goal after Gordon plays it back across.
Is it Chalobah who totally missed kicks? Falls invitingly for Voltemada. Never going to miss from there.
The ideal start, and great for Nick Voltemada, who got a terrific reception onto the pitch when he replaced Johan Wissa the other night. Chelsea, there's some issues over the kickoff. The referee Andy Madley's talking to Cole Palmer and Reece James, but there's nothing to do with VAR. We're playing again. Newcastle lead 1-0. Eddie Howe acknowledged and referenced the way the supporters got behind him against Fulham. That will have helped, but nothing helps quite like a goal.
No. I mean, you score an OG in a derby that ends up costing you the game. It's bound to hit you hard. but it's a good response from him.
And the manager changes striker today, Voltemade for Wissa, who scored early the other night, and Big Nick has done so this lunchtime on BBC Radio Newcastle. Palmer onto Gusto, a back heel to Neto, and Palmer, edge of the penalty area, has come to Garnacho over the top. Alejandro Garnacho too high, and always rising, never troubling Ramsdale. Chelsea trying to respond quickly. It was Neto rather than Palmer, I beg your pardon, involved in the build-up. It was good quick play and movement, slick football from Chelsea, but the effort was wild.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's tried to bend one, hasn't he? Just put your foot through it. Always leaning back, always going well over the top.
Voltemade beats Fofana in the air. Murphy trying to get on it. It's back with Newcastle in midfield. Hall to share. Ramsdale is on, just inside the box, right side. Has a touch, pings it up to Voltemade, takes it under control. Bruno now in behind Cucurella for Murphy. Gordon showing great desire to get there. Gordon challenges Gusto in the box, who stayed down as Murphy tries to send in a cross, and Cucurella does well to defend. Gusto's lost his boot, but he tried to take Gordon out off the ball and came off worse. Now Miley, Gusto stayed down. Anthony Gordon in the penalty area. Gordon just over the top, but what a save from Sanchez. It's going to be a corner. Chelsea go after the referee because Gusto's down. There's a yellow card for maybe Sanchez or possibly Pedro Neto. Malo Gusto's boot was somewhere in the middle of the box. Looked to me like, as Gordon was racing forwards to try and get up and give Murphy an option in the middle, that he just tried to take Gordon down off the ball. And when it came to Gordon eventually, he was completely free, he took a touch, hit a shot on the turn that was rising, and Sanchez got a great fingertip save on for a corner. But Chelsea unhappy with the referee.
Yeah, look, I think he's tried to block Gordon off, and Gordon's just too strong for him. You know, if you're going to block him off, but be strong about it. And he just got out muscled, went looking for a free kick that was never coming.
Energetic, strong start from Newcastle. Already 1-0 up through Voltemade. Paul's corner. Malik Chow trying to get there. It's flicked away from him by João Pedro. Back post. A corner on the left. Here comes Sandro Tonali. Another delivery like he supplied for Lewis Miley at the end of the game on Wednesday would be very welcome. Murphy could get it short, corner of the penalty area. Chelsea, every player back. Newcastle with 5 beyond the far post. Tonali, his bright yellow boots, sticks it into the middle of the 6-yard box, and it just clips the roof of the net on its way past the crossbar.
James has got to be careful. He's got his arms wrapped all over Voltemade.
Chelsea play the goal kick short. Sanchez. Gordon rushed him. And that's out. Cucurella can't keep it in. Well, an early goal helps Newcastle through.
It helps the atmosphere as well.
I was just going to say, Voltemade, the fact that it's him and the chance they've just had there, but especially in an early kickoff. Tonali, Gordon running in behind. Tonali taken down by Gordon. It's a great first touch, and he's played it around Palmer, and it's come towards Tonali again off Voltemade, but Gusto lifts it out well on top. When it's like this, it's enjoyable stuff. Paul back to Fabian Schär, up the line, no one there in black and white. Fofana away. Paul beats Neto in the air, and out it goes for Chelsea's throw on halfway. Enzo Maresca. is near by Malo Gusto as he takes the throw. I think he's telling his players to calm down and settle. Caicedo back to Sanchez. Clips it up into the United half. João Pedro heads on beyond Cher, but Miley covers back to Ramsdale. And still no Nick Pope in the squad, despite Eddie Howe saying he was quite close to being fully fit. Ramsdale continuing in goal. And he finds Miley out on the far touchline. Bruno plays it back. Gets it again, goes up the line. Chelsea now in possession. Newcastle giving it away there on the far side of the pitch. But now they force Chelsea into a deep position to the goalkeeper, James. Back to Chalobah. Cucurella up to the feet of Garnacho. Pedro Neto wants the ball switched. They played it into midfield. Jacob Ramsey gets it and goes away from Gusto. And then gets tackled by Caicedo. And he had black and white shirts that he could have played in. And they're having to get back and face their own goal. Garnacho overruns it, trying to take on Lewis Miley, and it's a goal kick.
Real heavy touch. Had plenty of space in front of him and he just knocks it too far.
Newcastle United lead by 1-0. Ramsdale with his short goal kick to Chow. Onto Voltemada, helped out wide to Murphy. Switches it, but it's cut out by Pedro Neto. Lewis Hall makes a challenge. Chelsea find Neto again, edge of the penalty area on his right. Blocked by Cher. Important defending. Ramsey now to Gordon. Inside and tripped by Neto. Now they tap hands and Gordon accepts the apology for the trip. Just scooped it up away from his outstretched leg. Gets Newcastle a free kick. 13th minute of an enjoyable opening period. Ramsdale, his 10th appearance for the club, 5th start in the Premier League. That's an accurate ball out to Murphy, who's held it up well in the Chelsea half. Miley here drags it back onto Bruno. Murphy goes beyond, and the skipper comes back to Chow on halfway. Onto Tonali. And now Cher. Voltemada deep, laid off to Tonali. Didn't really do Tonali too many favours with that pass. Bruno gets his boot on the ball, just stops Chelsea getting it under control in the middle. And then Fofana back to Sanchez. Floated out to the near side. Hall showed greater desire than Pedro Neto, headed it on. Chelsea have played it inadvertently backwards. Gordon putting pressure on. Sanchez away again. Hall again wanting it more than Pedro Neto. Brings it down and out to the left wing to Ramsey. On to Hall, 25 yards from the goal. Inside he comes, then outside. It's a good run from Lewis Hall and he's won a corner.
Yeah, he wants it more than Neto, doesn't he? Neto being lazy, waiting for everything. Lewis Hall not waiting, getting in front of him. Did it on a couple of occasions.
Tonali with the corner, their third so far, second from this near left-hand side. Hall and Murphy edge of the box. Chelsea have everybody back, and again 5 players beyond the far post. Now they make their move forwards. Tonali looking for Chow, who was the furthest player back, but Sanchez has come and caught it. He's thrown it out. Lewis Hall's won it back, but the referee says as Hall puts it in to an unguarded goal that Robert Sanchez was impeded. Not entirely sure there was a lot in that. Fabian Cher gave him a little bit of a barge, didn't he? Didn't need any encouragement to go down, mind Sanchez.
Well, nobody does, do they?
They play it back to him. He's got it on the floor. Lewis Hall wins it again from Pedro Neto.
Just wants it more than him.
going forwards, attacking. He's one of the best wingers in the league, but Lewis Hall's come up strong against him so far. Newcastle with Tanali to Ramsey. Gordon, edge of the box. It was a heavy first touch, not criticism. It was just lashed into him from Ramsey. Chelsea clear. Fabian Schär now. The ball played back to Ramsdale, edge of the box. Chow out to Miley, drops his shoulder, gets away from Garnacho. It's good, and it's Bruno. And now Voltemade. Back to Bruno. On to Miley, they've worked it well, really well. Up to Murphy, nobody in the centre. Ramsey, edge of the penalty area. Gordon coming in on this near left-hand side as Newcastle keep it on the right wing with Bruno and Murphy, and Tanali with a ball into the area to find him. Tanali, it's a goal kick, despite appeals for a corner.
Looked like a corner, didn't it? Tanali's appealing, but he's not getting anywhere. Been a really good start, though. Well, maybe it did come off him last, but they've got a greater hunger, greater desire than Chelsea. Young Hall wins it again.
Throw on halfway near side. Malo Gusto, the French international, got one of their goals in the 2-0 win over Everton last weekend. Back to Fofana, and now it's João Pedro. Back to Cucurella, who's getting booed. Chelsea up the left wing. Chow with a turn of pace to beat Garnacho to the ball, and Ramsdale clear. Voltemade gets it. It was headed against him by Chalabar. Whistle's gone. Was it handball?
Harsh, wasn't it? Just headed it straight onto his arm. Wasn't a great deal he could do about it.
Caicedo on towards Palmer. Chow's won it. Good starting position. Read the situation. Here goes Malik Chow. Sidestepped a couple of challenges, and on the right wing pushes it up the line. Couldn't go any further. Now Ramsey's won it back and gets away from Caicedo, but Chalabar covering for Chelsea helps his midfielder out. Chow with a header. Then Gordon makes a challenge on Cucurella. It's getting competitive out there. It's good. Chelsea still have the ball. João Pedro forced away towards the halfway line by Fabian Schär. Good turn by João Pedro. Then he loses it to Gordon. And Malo Gusto didn't fancy the 50-50 with Gordon. He smacks it off the advertising board.
Did well, actually, Gusto. You seen it coming, just jumped.
Anthony Gordon looks right up for this. Here's Bruno. He's always up for it. Challenge from behind on Caicedo. Chelsea keep hold of the ball in midfield now. Back with Fofana, the right-sided centre-back. Palmer, deep position. Laid off to Cucurella. Into space on the far side. And Chow across. Gusto, the right-back, was left wing. There's a big gap here. Ramsey onto Gordon. And he's been fouled by Fofana. Newcastle United lead Chelsea by a goal to nil. 20th minute.
Chelsea can't deal with the pace and the intensity that they're playing at. They want to slow it down, but they're just not keeping the ball well enough to slow it down. They're getting swarmed all over the park.
Yeah, it's been a really strong opening, hasn't it, Ando?
Yeah, it's been an impressive 20 minutes.
Lewis Hall moved the ball too far forwards and has been told to move it back, which he's done. Anthony Gordon pulls out to the near side and it's rolled to his feet. Players in the middle waiting for the delivery. Gordon back in on his right, away from Pedro Neto. Voltemade! He's got two! Nick Voltemade. He's at it again. Anthony Gordon is at it again with the assist. Hall rolled the free kick to Gordon. He cut inside, delicious curling cross. Voltemada just opened up his body, stuck out his right leg and guided it inside Sanchez's far post. And after the pain of the own goal last week, Nick Voltemada has scored a double inside 20 minutes at St James's Park to make it Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 0.
Yeah, it's a great ball played in. They're obviously having a look at this. Gordon does well. They play it short and he just whips it in. And he gets ahead of Fofana. It's a great little touch.
It's tight for offside and it might need the semi-automated offside technology. We've not seen it back clearly. They are checking. I mean, our television screen is so small. It's not the best, is it? So we can't really see in any detail. It's not exactly HD what we're looking at, but they wait. And this will be a real shame. And of course, if this goes against you, can give Chelsea a psychological boost as well. Voltemada, nothing can do now but wait for VAR. Peter Banks and Eddie Smart. It's really tight. It's just not clear. Let's see what referee Andy Madley says. He's going to talk to Bruno now. And Voltemada. And we're still waiting. There's a really good goal as well. And
why is he talking to the two skippers?
Maybe he's just explaining or relaying messages from VAR. The fact that it's taken them so long to look. I mean, look at that. If anything's offside, it's his hand, fingers.
He can't score with his fingers.
Exactly. The leg of Caicedo seems to be playing him on from what we're looking at, because they've zoomed right in. I think it's just onside, but it's really tight. Really tight.
Shouldn't take as long as this.
Newcastle United lead Chelsea if this stands by 2-0, both from Voltemada. When it's this tight, they should just give the goal, shouldn't they?
Great finish, mate.
It was a great finish. Andy Madley is waiting. Bruno, arms outstretched. Wants an outcome, but he wants a particular outcome. And VAR is still assessing. You look at that. Surely the left leg. That's Caicedo, isn't it? I think he's onside. It's going to be given.
Onside.
I think
it's onside.
It's going to be given. By the looks of things, the VAR graphics appear to have gone green, which suggests goal, and it is a goal! Nick Voltemada can celebrate properly now, and he gives Anthony Gordon the credit for the assist. And Herr Voltemada with a terrific finish into the far corner. The first one, he just banged it into the net. The second one, he guided it in. It was a deft touch, wasn't it? The technique of a player who is really gifted, and that's certainly what he is. Here's another gifted technical player at the other end, Cole Palmer. But Chelsea have lost it through Cucurella, and Miley wins a throw. Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 0, now in the 25th minute. Great start, Ando. Absolutely brilliant.
They've been brilliant. They've been absolutely brilliant in the opening 25 minutes. They've swarmed all over Chelsea. They've pinned them back in. Chelsea have had no answer to it at all.
Bruno onto Murphy. Now Voltemada tried to flick it on for Murphy, and it was just stopped on its way through. Back to Sanchez now. They look long for Neto, but Lewis Hall's got his number again, and it's out for a throw. Spent the last 15 minutes trying to find out who got booked, and it was Robert Sanchez. If you've ever been to St James's Park, then you'll know how bad the phone signal is here and the Wi-Fi. Finally, Sanchez booked on 7 minutes. That was after the Gordon effort was tipped over. He made a really impressive save, fingertips. but came out angry because he thought they should have had a free kick. Miley, great take and skill on the outside, and Murphy on to Ramsey in the penalty area. Ramsey pulled it back when maybe he could have gone across goal for Gordon. I think he was looking for Voltemada. João Pedro loses out in the challenge with Cher, and now Tonali to Gordon. They're all over Chelsea, who do not like it. Gordon to Tonali, Gusto sliding challenge. Gordon sent tumbling by Gusto. Referee has eventually given the free kick. I thought he was going to let it go. Gordon sold Tonali a bit short with the pass. Gusto slid in. Gordon came racing in to win the ball back. Gusto sent him flying. Tonali picked it up and started to continue a move inside towards goal, and the referee blew the whistle.
Yeah, he tried to play advantage, the referee, but there was no real advantage, so he's brought it back. He looks well wound up for it today, Gordon.
27 minutes, already 2-0 up. This is not quite a short corner, it's like a corner. That's where Tonali is starting, and the ball's just a yard or so inside. Oh, he's played it straight at Cole Palmer when he went short for Murphy. Jacob Ramsey wins it back. He's been hurt in the process and has actually been awarded a free kick. Garnacho was late, and Garnacho is yellow carded by referee Andy Madley.
But just giving them no time whatsoever.
Jason Tindall having a word, as he does, with the fourth official. Chelsea have Palmer next to the ball. Lewis Hall's asking the assistant referee and now the referee why Palmer is allowed to stand so close. I'm not sure he's 10 yards back. The free kick is about 35 yards from the goal. Hall diagonal to the far side of the box. Fabian Cher! Whoa, that would have been a spectacular goal. Cher on the volley, but it was straight at Sanchez, and then they played it out from the keeper and given it away, and Hall gets around Palmer and carries on his run, finds Ramsey, comes inside Jacob Ramsey, nothing silly, back to Chow and inside to Cher, and Newcastle United keeping possession. The decision making's been good so far. When they've had the chance to attack, they've done so like they do now. When they've needed to play it safe, they have. Hall on his chest, he's been superb. And his hamstring looks in tip-top shape. So that rest the other night appears, after half an hour, to have been exactly what he needed. 2-0. Chow to Ramsey. Pushed over by James. Whistle's gone for a Newcastle free kick. James helps Ramsey up to his feet. Jason Tinder with some tactical words for Bruno just before the free kick can be taken by Fabian Cher inside to Malik Chow. Chow to Miley, gives it to the goalkeeper. Applause for Wissa, who's warming up alongside Barnes and Willock. Ramsey with another driven pass along the floor towards Voltemada. Chelsea have it. Sanchez in the D. Hurried by Gordon, and away it goes. Miley with a header, then one from Chow. Palmer on, João Pedro back. Bruno nods it to Cher. Tonali back to...
Oh, they've been brilliant.
Aaron Ramsdale. He looks for Voltemada. Caicedo got there first and then got the second ball. Cucurella back to Sanchez. Voltemada gets up after it. They play it out to Caicedo and he slices his pass up the pitch. Newcastle have a throw, leading 2-0. Exactly 30 minutes played.
You don't want half time to come.
Bruno back to Chow, and Ramsdale to Bruno, out to Chow again. They've got away with that, and it's Murphy inside, but straight at Caicedo. Baltamada holds him up, and they can't come forwards. Chelsea back to Trevor Chalobah. James in between the centre-backs. Brings it to the halfway line, chips it forwards to Gusto. Hall covering, his clearance straight to Palmer, and then Hall dispossesses Cole Palmer, edge of the box. Now Bruno on to Baltamada. Tried to link up with Tonali just behind halfway, but the pass into Tonali's path, I think, just ran under his feet. And Chelsea, dangerous position here. Palmer's cross, caught by Ramsdale. Fofana across to head out. James was there, but they probably got in each other's way. Gordon, the nearest Newcastle player, and it's just out for a throw inside the attacking half of the pitch on the left for Newcastle. BBC Radio Newcastle from 3 o'clock today. Commentary on Sunderland's away match at Brighton. We'll hear from our Black Cats commentator Nick Barnes at half-time. Here's Malik Chow. Lots of space as he approaches halfway. Bruno drops in to get it. Murphy's on his way up the touchline. Bruno can't release Murphy. Chelsea close off the gaps, and United back to Chow, and now Cher. Ramsey's got a man on, takes it back with his first touch, finds the feet of Chow, and it's a one. He's trying to get in behind Cucurella for Murphy. Marc Cucurella has lifted it up, and Murphy on his chest, out on the far side, not far from the corner. Jacob Murphy's done really well. Cucurella's put it out for a throw.
He's got him on ice, hasn't he? Cucurella is all over the shop.
He can be exceptional, but I think this has been one of his tougher afternoons. Nick Baltamada with 2 goals. Could be on for his first United hat-trick. Miley back to Tonali. He sends it in high. It misses Chow and comes to Cher, left side of the area, back into the middle. A miscued clearance from João Pedro, and a throw in line with the penalty box taken by Cher. Why not just get on with it rather than wait, which he's decided to do, and Fabian Cher has it again. Now Anthony Gordon, driven towards the box, up and away off Reece James. Miley first to it with a touch and then a header, and Baltamada trying to chest it down at the edge of the box. Cole Palmer does well to control it, but then Lewis Miley read the ball and intercepted. Bruno to the feet of Baltamada, a back heel. There is appeal for handball, nothing given. Tonali, edge of the area, just takes it away, and back to Pedro Neto. They're not letting Chelsea get up the pitch though. Bruno with a trip on Caicedo, and the whistle's gone. Chelsea free kick close to the edge of their penalty area, and Caicedo is rolling around. No stranger to a foul, normally the player that commits them.
Good player.
Bruno caught him, whistle's gone. But I mean, swarming around and all over Chelsea. Ooh, Fofana. The back heel from Baltamada. I think the game's going to continue. His hand is out. It's just his hand is down rather than it being out square beside his body. And just sometimes, you know, when you see the handball, you can just never be sure quite where they decide natural position stops and unnatural position begins. Certainly wasn't a deliberate handball. It's not going to be given. Chelsea play on, take the free kick. Miley climbs and wins a good header. Baltamada, great strength. And not only did he hold off his man, he kept the ball under control, gave it to Gordon, who now gets it back from Cher and on to Ramsey.
Oh, they're all over them.
Played his part in the first half as well. 10 minutes to the break. Hall back to Gordon in the Chelsea half now, but they find Tonali on halfway. Share to Chow. Murphy drops in, closed down by Cucurella. Looked for Bruno or Voltemada, but it's taken by Garnacho, who scored here for Man United last season in April. Newcastle's 4-1 win. Alejandro Garnacho back to the goalkeeper, and Sanchez with it again. Voltemada in the 4th minute, and then in the 20th minute after a big VAR check. And Lewis Hall, how many times is that now? He's beaten Pedro Neto to the ball, got up there and headed it out. Bruno all over Caicedo, and Gordon started to come away with it, and the referee's given Chelsea a decision that they will be very grateful for, close to their penalty area. Malik Chow wins it. Enzo Maresca is jumping up and down on the touchline. He will be, well, so angry with the first half. Newcastle get Murphy in on the far touchline, and his cross is flat, but it's turned out of play by the Chelsea defence, and Miley picks it up, ready to take the throw. Tonali back towards Miley. Oh, they've lost it between them. Palmer, this is the threat that Chelsea carry. Lewis Miley. Well, it's a foul on Cole Palmer as he was getting back. I mean, he had the legs and showed good power to get in a position to win the ball, but he did so with some sort of foul in there as well. Chelsea free kick 35 yards back from the goal.
I'm not too sure that's a foul.
No, I wanted to see it again because I thought it was very soft. Enzo Maresca is complaining to the 4th official. Should be thanking them for that decision. 38th minute. João Pedro stands offside. Reece James.
Yeah, he might as well take it. It's the only kick he's had.
Pedro Neto's ball in. Header from Fofana. Murphy with a header. Bruno takes it out towards the corner, and it's out of Palmer. And a United throw. As blue shirts surround the referee, the decision won't be changed. Maybe it wasn't out of Palmer, but it looked from this angle like he put it out of play as he tried to win it back. Miley with the throw. Span in line with a penalty spot, up the line.
Oh.
Cucurella.
Just jumped into.
Bruno into Cucurella.
Yeah, he's just jumped into.
And the Spanish fullback went flying, landed heavily. Free kick Chelsea. 25 yards out on the left. Some home fans think the referee got that wrong. Newcastle 2, Chelsea 0. They've scored exactly 2 goals, Newcastle, now in each of their last 6 Premier League home games. Which is an interesting statistic and a run they've obviously continued today. Trying to keep a 2-0 lead here as Neto delivers the free kick. It's come out to the edge of the area. Garnacho shot blocked. Gordon. Some Chelsea appeals for handball. Murphy to Bruno and out. And nothing given in terms of a potential penalty there, although they've taken a throw and then the referees brought it back. Are they going to look at that from Gordon? No. Play on. Well, if they're not going to give the Fofana one, there's no way in the world they could ever give that one. They were quite similar. Chelsea back to halfway on the near side from the throw on the left wing. James to Chalobah and Palmer to Cucurella. 1 and 2 touch stuff from the away side. started the day 4th, 8 points behind leaders Arsenal. Fabian Schär pushes the ball away. Tonali gets close to Caicedo. Chelsea keep possession. And now Palmer. He's a player that finds space, isn't he? And he's done so there in the middle of midfield. Pedro Neto, long sleeves and gloves. Portuguese international this lunchtime. Bruno gets in to win it back. Ramsey to Ramsdale and away from the keeper. It's bending out to this near touchline, and it's just gone for a Chelsea throw next to the Newcastle bench. James puts it back in and gets it returned from Fofana into Palmer, off Bruno, and that's another Chelsea throw. How are they managing the 2-0 lead, John Anderson?
Just keep doing what they're doing. That's all they've got to do. They've swarmed all over Chelsea. They've been absolutely brilliant. And with all energy levels, everything about it's been.
Here's João Pedro challenging for the ball with Fabian Schär, and he's come away with it, the Brazilian. Edge of the penalty area with Garnacho and James, and wide right to Neto, who turns, gets it back on his favoured left foot. Gordon closes off the gap, he can't cross. Back to Fofana, and now James over the heads of Newcastle players to Gusto on the near touchline. Hall makes a block challenge. Gusto has it back. Chelsea, it's better from them. James thought about a cross, then put his foot on the ball and went back to Chalobah. Palmer again in space, left of centre. Garnacho near to the corner of the penalty area, to the back post. Neto coming in. They've scored.
Handball.
But it's handball. And it won't count for Chelsea. Referee just communicating with VAR, but no complaints from those in blue. And although the ball ended up in the back of the net, off Pedro Neto from Garnacho's cross, oh yeah, you can't score off any part of your hand or arm, and Pedro Neto did. It came off him.
He's a little bit unlucky. It's bounced up onto his arm, hasn't it?
Yeah, off his head onto his hand. Now, in the build-up, a handball is okay if it's not the goal scorer,
yeah.
But if it's the goal scorer, then the goal can't.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous rule.
So it's still Newcastle 2, Chelsea 0. Baltimore has kept the ball in with a header up the line. Gordon trying to get the better of Gusto, and Gordon has got in behind Gusto. Wanted a free kick, nothing given. Chelsea play their way out of trouble in the corner just. And James here on to Garnacho. They're determined to get one back before the break, the visitors. Garnacho's cross. Tonali makes a block. Bruno with it. Looks for Miley. Up the line to Murphy, or for Murphy to chase after, but Chalobah well positioned to play it back from halfway to Sanchez. Chelsea's best spell of the game, but Newcastle still lead 2-0.
Oh!
Palmer might have been caught by Schär, but he's lost the ball to Gordon. Play on. Palmer stays down. Referee happy to let the match continue. Newcastle don't have to knock it out. It's not a head injury, and Chelsea are standing off, and Bruno in behind and wide left into the corner for Gordon. There will be hell on if they score from this. Voltemada! Oh. Well, he couldn't convert. There's a yellow card now shown to Malo Gusto. But the sense of entitlement from Chelsea, unbelievable that the match should be stopped. They would not be putting it out if the situation was reversed.
You got to play to the whistle. They're not going to. Referee's not going to stop things. It's a great ball played in again by Gordon.
He should be scoring there, Baltimore, shouldn't he? He knows.
Chance for the hat trick, wasn't it?
Connected with the ball. Right foot, centre of the box, and it went behind. There's a problem with the Chelsea goal kick. They have to do it again as a minimum of 4 additional minutes are added to the first half. Newcastle United, an early goal, then a second from Voltemade after VAR had a long look at a potential offside. Chelsea with one disallowed for a clear handball. Tanali from the goalkeeper's kick, which was straight to him, forward into an area. Voltemade chases. It's back with Sanchez. That's short. Murphy's header. Bruno gets it back and finds Voltemade in the area, and he's won a corner. Palmer looked favourite, and Bruno went shoulder to shoulder, got the ball, found Voltemade in the box, but he was closed down quickly. He was onside. It was a pass that found him. It didn't have a lot of power. It took a while to get there, and Caicedo was able to get back and put it behind.
Yeah, he got lucky, Caicedo, because it just bounced away from the big German, didn't it? They're just swarming all over Chelsea. They're giving them no time whatsoever. Chelsea just can't live with them at the moment.
Imagine if they got a third before half-time. They could do. From this Lewis Hall corner, back to Ramsey, now Murphy. First time delivery. Miley.
It's a big chance, isn't it?
He got in front of Voltemade and headed it over when it looked like Voltemade was going to have another chance for his hat-trick. Now in behind Miley for Garnacho, but it's too strong, and Chow was there anyway. Ramsdale, nice and calm, and in no hurry whatsoever. Ball on the 6-yard line. 2 big chances though at the end of the first half. 2 big chances,
yeah,
to increase the lead.
Yeah, I mean, Miley got one with his head the other night.
Header from Fofana, beating Voltemade.
That was probably an easier chance, actually.
Yeah. Coming on to that one, and he could actually see the goal, whereas the other night had to flick it on and into the back of the Fulham net. Hall's throw, just behind halfway. He says the ball, I think he's saying the ball is flat. Yeah, they're going to get another one. It's on an orange disc a bit further back down the line. He's got it, and up the line it goes to Voltemade. It's come off his knee. It's in the air again. João Pedro heads it out. Another one with long sleeves and gloves. Could have been in black and white, João Pedro. Things have been different this summer. Some fans feel Voltemade was being held there as a challenge for the ball, nothing given. Tanali flattened there in a challenge with Caicedo, again nothing given. And Chelsea allowed to play on. And the run from Garnacho and Miley does well, does very well. Goal kick. He's not a right back, but you wouldn't know it.
He's done well again today. That's good defending.
They lead by 2-0. The 4 minutes that were added to the first half are up. They could have scored more and be further ahead of Chelsea. But it's 2-0, and that is still a healthy advantage ahead of the half-time whistle, which will surely follow this Aaron Ramsdale goal kick. And indeed it does, from Andy Madley. Nick Voltemade, after 4 minutes, from a Murphy cross, missed it the first time. Gordon put it back over to the far post, and Voltemade stuck it in. And then in the 20th minute, He got his second from a free kick rolled by Hall, out wide left to Gordon. It's a great ball in, and Voltemada guided it inside the far post. A terrific finish to make it Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 0, and it survived a never-ending VAR check for offside. Chelsea are unhappy with the referee. A couple of players went to him at half-time. Their moaning might continue, but Newcastle have just been
too
much
good.
better, John
They've
Anderson.
been too good, too strong, too physical, too quick for them. They've been absolutely outstanding in that opening 45 minutes. Chelsea wanting too much time on the ball, want to slow it all down. They're not being allowed. They're being outplayed all over the pitch. You know, we speak about winning individual battles, and the majority of all them battles have been won by players in black and white. They've been, to a man, they've been outstanding in that opening half.
And you're delighted for Voltemada, aren't you, after last week?
Yeah, it's a great response by him. You know, as I said, scoring an OG in a derby, bound to hoard. You know, there's no doubt about it, but his response has been brilliant. Two good finishes, could have had a hat-trick, to be fair. Chelsea can count themselves fortunate they're only 2 behind, because they've been totally outplayed all over the park.
Second half to come on BBC Radio Newcastle. Nick Voltemada's double means at half-time. Newcastle United lead Chelsea by 2-0.
Hi, I'm Inez Gallagher. It was definitely the summer of Oasis. Back together and playing sold-out shows across the UK and beyond. My series, Mad for Oasis, on BBC Sounds, has given me the chance to hear and share stories of how Oasis music has changed people's lives.
His influence gave me the chance to be me.
It's a collection of stories from the fans, told by the fans.
I was thinking, is he having a laugh?
This Christmas, join me as I revisit some of those stories.
Well, I was absolutely buzzing.
Mad for Oasis with me, Inez Gallagher.
Tuesday the 30th of December from 9.
This is Dominic James back in the BBC Radio Newcastle studio. At half-time then, it's in James's Park. It's Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 0. We'll head back down to St James's Park shortly for second half commentary with Matthew Raisbeck and John Anderson. Our second commentary game this afternoon, though, comes from the South Coast. Brighton take on Sunderland. Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett will have full match commentary with build-up starting from around 2:30, basically straight after the Newcastle game. And Nick joins me now. Afternoon, Barnesy.
Afternoon, Dom.
It's an interesting game, this, isn't it, Barnesy? Because Regis Labrie probably for the first time is really being forced to make some changes to his side with players off to the African Cup of Nations.
Yes, I don't think the changes are as marked as perhaps people felt or feared at the beginning of the season. We already know that Herr Trauder has been his favoured replacement for Siddiqui through games thus far. You know, this is the 17th, and Herr Trauder has been very prominent in the role that he's played so far. Simon Adingra, the fact that he's not gone to the African Cup of Nations and he's back here at his former club, and he's been getting a bit more of a role in recent weeks after a sort of dip where he wasn't really featuring. And I think there'll be, you know, we're looking at 3-4 changes and maybe a couple of positional changes today. I think we're very likely to see Trey Hume play at left back this afternoon, and then Herr Trauder come in for Siddiqui, Adingra be involved on the left-hand side. Possibility Chris Rigg comes in on the right wing this afternoon. Broby up front, Lefay in the middle. So it's not, you know, there's not drastic changes from Regis Labrie's point of view. I mean, what it does, I think the big question it does leave is what is the future of players like Dan Neil, and will we see Dennis Serkin on the bench this afternoon as well? What are the futures of those two players, particularly because they've not signed new contracts and Dan Neil's not really getting anywhere near the first team? So it's an interesting afternoon in that respect. And Brighton likewise, they have to make changes. 2 players suspended, Lewis Dunk and Diego Gomez, and also Carlos Baleba has gone away with Cameroon to AFCON. So changes to be made for them as well. Very, very strong at home. Only lost the one, that was to Aston Villa in the last but one game here. The last game here, actually, they drew 1-1 with West Ham. Can you take anything from that? I don't know. West Ham struggling. Brighton's form, people do say it's patchy. You know, they can be very, very good, or they can be very, very poor. Which Brighton's going to turn up?
Yeah, you mentioned Chris Rigg maybe coming in as maybe a chance for some of the fringe players to sort of stake a claim for the next couple of months, isn't there?
Well, there's a chance. I don't think they're going to get much chance. Regis de Vries does seem to be very much in favour of sticking with the players that, from his point of view, are tried and tested. So, as I say, what fringe players can he bring in? Mundle, well, he's not so much a fringe player as a player coming back from a long-term injury, so they're not going to really risk him greatly. Harrison Jones might force his way back in onto the bench. They do like him, and it's an extra body, but I can't see him getting involved in anywhere near a regular basis in the first 11. We keep coming back to those faces that Regis de Vries is familiar with. Dingra could be because he's not going away. Trowder. Interesting if Rigg does come in today, that he's trusting Rigg ahead of Dan Neil or anybody else, although that is more a positional thing. And then, of course, January is upon them, and Regis de Vries has already talked about bringing in 3 players. So I think that marginalises yet again the opportunities that any fringe player is going to have. So I think the writing's on the wall in many senses. I think you can read between the lines now as the direction of travel for 1 or 2 players in January.
Indeed. Barnesy, thank you very much for the moment. Then you can listen to every kick of Brighton against Sunderland on BBC Sounds this afternoon. All you have to do is ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Newcastle. Elsewhere in the Premier League this afternoon in the 3 o'clocks, it's Bournemouth against Burnley. Manchester City welcome West Ham to the Etihad. Wolves go up against Brentford. Later on this afternoon, the evening kick-off at 5:30, it's Tottenham against Liverpool. And then 2 night-time kick-offs, 2 8 o'clocks. Everton against Arsenal and Leeds United against Crystal Palace. There are 3 early kick-offs in the Championship today. Blackburn Rovers currently 2-0 up over Millwall. It's goalless between Preston and Norwich. And Coventry are 1-0 up away to Southampton. In 3 o'clocks, Middlesbrough are away to Bristol City. Let's talk non-league football. And BBC Radio Newcastle's local football expert Paul Dixon joins me in the studio before heading out on his travels. Afternoon, Paul.
Good afternoon, Dom.
Our featured game today comes in the NPL Premier. You're off to Hebburn against Guiseley. A big chance for Hebburn to maybe go top of the table today as well, Paul.
Well, you're right. I'm quite excited going over. Bobby Moore, who is the manager there, is absolutely delighted the way his team are playing. They're in second place and very much want to push for promotion. They've the last 9 games, they're undefeated. They've won 8 off the belt. And I'm sure Daniel will want that to continue this afternoon.
It'd be a rather nice Christmas present, wouldn't it?
It certainly would.
Heading into Christmas. A few other non-league games going around this weekend, Paul. Let's go through them. Gateshead tomorrow up against Eastleigh.
Yeah.
Eastleigh, who are 17th, and Gateshead 21st. A big game that you would feel that they've got to get some points from.
Well, you're right. I'm going over tomorrow, 2 o'clock kickoff. I hope the North East fans can come along and support Gateshead, but bad result last week in the trophy when they lost 3-0 to Morecambe. They've got to pick themselves up, and it's a winnable game against Eastleigh. I mean, they're not the best in the league, as you would say, but Gateshead have got to start picking up points very quickly.
South Shields in the National League North, they are away to Chester. Always a tough ask going down there, but South Shields will be looking to maybe try and get back on top spot, you would feel.
Well, I watched them on in midweek when they beat Peterborough Sports. It was a real tough game, but they dug in and they got 3 points. It'd be nice if they could get a win down there this afternoon, Dom.
Yeah, indeed. A bit of inconsistency at the minute from South Shields, but hoping to form a bit of a momentum. In the East Division last night, Blythe Spartans lost 2-1 to Concert. Here's the Concert manager, Jason Miller.
To be fair to them, they've caused us problems today with their shape, and it was hard to play against. It's always a tough place to come. They've got good support here and they got behind them. But I was really proud of the lads today because I just think they stood up to the test we had, and I thoroughly deserved the 3 points. I knew they'd have a go second half. I said at half time we're going to get a bit of a reaction at half time and come out with a bit more, and they did. But it was a great time to score. And I've just said to the lads to be a little bit critical, and it's difficult after a performance like that, but we should have really took some more chances and been out of sight, I think.
That is the concert manager, Jason Miller there. Dunstan, they were 3-0 winners over Blythe Town last night. Here's the Dunstan manager, John McDonald.
Yeah, I thought we played really well in the first half. I said to the players at half-time I was disappointed that we only went in 2 goals to the good, because I thought we created enough chances to score more than 2 goals. Some really good chances, and a 2-0 in this division, it's never enough. I thought Blythe came out and had a go for the first 50 minutes of the second half, and I thought we put our bodies on the line when we needed to, and I felt like once the third goal went in, I felt pretty comfortable after that, and I thought some of the stuff we played tonight overall was good. It's been a tough week, you know. We've had Bishop Auckland, Heaton away on Tuesday, and Blythe tonight, 3 local teams, and we've took 7 from 9, so I'm really pleased with that.
That is the Dunstan manager, John McDonald there. And then back to today in the East Division, Ashington, they're away to Bishop Auckland. And the game between Heaton Stann and Redcar was postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. But Paul, just while I've got you, before you about to head out, Bedlington Terriers, they announced late last night that the club has folded. Just your reaction on that? Pretty sad news.
Well, it is sad news, and I'm really disappointed. I remember going up with Matthew Raisbeck and Barry Heinsohn up to the Welfare Park to watch them play in some massive games. They were a great side. I mean, people in the past who were involved with Bedlington, Billy Ward, Bobby Graham and Keith Perry and his brother absolutely loved Bedlington, and they were very, very successful. They went to Wembley and they got beaten in the FA Vars final with Tiverton. I was there. But they did beat Colchester at home, a terrific day, and they had a really, really top team. I must mention Dean Gibb and John Milner, who for me was probably as good a striking force we've had for lots and lots of years in the non-league football. It's really sad, Dom, that the people of Bedlington will miss their football. I mean, you know, you've got people like Ashington and Morpeth and Blythe, and when they had derby games all together, it was terrific. It's a sad day for Bedlington Football Club.
Indeed. We can reflect more on that in the local football roundup later on this afternoon. That will be at 5:45. Just a quick run through of some other things that's going on today in the darts. Chris Dobie of Bedlington is taking on Andrew Gibb in the second round. Basketball last night, the Eagles, they beat the Leicester Riders 98 points to 85. And in the ice hockey later today, the Whitley Warriors are away to the Aberdeen Lynx. Face off there is at 7:15. And in the cricket, England's woes continue heading into the last day. Their hopes of retaining the Ashes are very thin now. You'd feel England closed on a 207 for 6 in their second innings, still needing 228 runs for victory. Australia just need those 4 wickets to win the match. But it's time here on BBC Radio Newcastle to head back to St James's Park for second half commentary of Newcastle United against Chelsea in the company of Matthew Raisbeck and John Anderson.
Half-time highlights.
Total Sport Northeast.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Wide right to Murphy. First Newcastle attack on 3 minutes. Murphy cross. Voltemada and Gordon and Voltemada! First attack and an early goal. And Nick Voltemada, who powered it into the back of the net. It's his 8th of the season. And in the 4th minute, Newcastle United lead Chelsea by a 1-0. Players in the middle waiting for the delivery. Gordon back in on his right, away from Pedro Neto. Voltemada! He's got 2! Voltemada just opened up his body, stuck out his right leg and guided it inside Sanchez's far post to make it Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 0.
Total Sport Northeast.
Matthew Raisbeck and black and white legend John Anderson.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
That second goal was awarded after a long VAR check for offside. Voltemada was onside, or at least level. It was very tight though. But he moves on to 9 goals in all competitions, 7 in the Premier League. Newcastle lead Chelsea 2-0 after 45 minutes. And probably if there is a disappointment, John Anderson, is that it's not 3 or 4. Voltemada put one wide of goal when he could have completed his hat-trick. The mighty header at the end of the half. Gordon had one well saved. So big chances to increase their lead, which they'll look to do in the second half, but you would expect Chelsea to be better, although they did finish the first half with their strongest spell of the match.
I don't think they've been allowed to play in that first half.
You had the wrong headset on.
Oh,
sorry.
There's headsets all over the place. Yeah. But they weren't allowed to play in that first half, Ray, and we just totally dominated. We were absolutely outstanding in that first half. Some of the football and the movement was brilliant, you know. And you watch this today and you wonder, where was that last week, you know? But they in that first half they were brilliant.
Yeah, one of their best halves of football this season, no doubt about it. 2-0, no changes at half-time. Second half is 50 seconds old, and black and white stripes against the blue of Chelsea. And United shooting towards the Gallagher end, second half. Chelsea with Cucurella into midfield. James helps it on. Chow came to win it. It ran beyond him, and Miley to Bruno. Now Murphy trying to run in behind, but the ball from Bruno, it's unfortunate. It hit him on the back, and it's played to Sanchez, the goalkeeper. Miley backpedaling.
Let it go, son. Let it go.
One out. That's advice from a right back to a midfielder playing at right back. Dealt with that well, didn't he?
He did.
His angles and where the
yeah, he's been exceptional again today. He's never given Garnacho a kick.
Ramsdale goes long. Voltemada trying to turn around Chalobah. Some suggestion Voltemada was being held. Referee didn't give anything. Back to Sanchez, who stumbled. Gordon almost pinched it, and the goalkeeper's rushed clearance hit Garnacho and went out. Newcastle have taken the throw. Miley to Tonali, given away to Cucurella and Palmer. Chelsea with some quick play there as they try to attack up the left wing. Newcastle force them inside. Caicedo square across halfway to James, onto Palmer, away from Ramsey. That will be a free kick, of course it will. And a bit of a hold of Cole Palmer, and it's 25 yards out, slightly right of centre. It's a sort of decision now that you just Ramsey is trying to stop Palmer. There's not loads of contact, but it's a free kick.
Soft.
Always gets given now. Newcastle lead 2-0, facing a free kick, and then we'll remind ourselves of the two starting 11s and the benches. Ramsdale's by his right-hand post, leaning over at the moment, just checking lines of sight and angles, pulling the wall across to the right. Cole Palmer with so much quality. Reece James is an option as well from a free kick from this sort of position. João Pedro's misbehaving in the box. Jacob Murphy is complaining to the referee. João Pedro now goes back to the 18-yard line. That's where everybody is.
How long have they been stood over this free kick?
The wall just creeps forwards into the D. So there's a right foot potentially from Reece James, or the left foot of Cole Palmer. Ramsdale moves across towards his left-hand post. It's James. It's in. It's a terrific free kick. Ramsdale went across to the other side and couldn't get back over to his right to stop the free kick. And the Chelsea captain, Reece James, after a shocking first half from his team, has pulled them back into this match in the 50th minute. Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 1.
Good free kick, isn't it? Did Ramsdale give him an awful lot of the goal to hit? Was he too far over? I mean, he gets it up and down, doesn't he?
Hits the post.
Hits the side net.
Voltemada header on. Gordon away from Gusto. On the outside again from Gordon. Free kick for Chelsea. They've got two players down in the box. And this is where you think about the missed chances and think about opportunities Newcastle could have taken to increase their lead and be well clear. Free kick for foul on Hall by Neto.
Yet again, he's been brilliant, Hall. It's been absolutely brilliant against him.
Inch perfect Reece James free kick. I think the fact that it's hit the post on the way in, maybe if there is going to be criticism of the goalkeeper, that could perhaps be factored in, but he could also get across and stop it from hitting the post, I suppose. Ramsey's won it back, done well. 30 yards out, Murphy and Miley has to turn. I might have to go back, or can he come forwards? He's found Murphy again inside, but straight to a blue shirt. They don't want to see their 2-0 lead cancelled out early in the second half here. It's Garnacho onto Palmer. Oh, and now Pedro Neto. And Hall, brilliant again up against Neto, blocks him off. Tenali runs it clear, and onto Gordon. And Lewis Hall making a forward run through the middle. Gordon carrying Newcastle forwards. Chelsea with Neto down again. Every time someone goes down, they expect a decision. Bruno to Jacob Murphy. This is good. It hits Cucurella and it's a corner. Cucurella has been hurt by that. I think it caught him square in the face. Picks himself back up, but Lewis Hall, was great defending there against Neto, who tried to bring it down and cut him inside, and then if he'd done that, he'd have been able to shoot on his left. 52 minutes. Hey, they're still in the lead, Newcastle 2-1, and they've got a corner kick which Hall will take. Enzo Fernandez about to come on for Chelsea. Hall back to Ramsey, and now Murphy. I've tried this a couple of times this afternoon. Murphy's delivery headed away by Chalabar. Murphy's got it again, sidesteps his man. Jacob Ramsey on the right wing. Gordon comes short to get it, turns, finds Murphy, back through for Gordon. Gordon bundled over and lands against the advertising board and stays down off the pitch. Is that just strong defending, or is that a foul?
Need to see it again, wouldn't
you? He's never getting the ball, the defender. Oh, Chalabar, no interest in playing the ball. VAR's having a look. There is a VAR check underway because he gets none of the ball and he goes absolutely flying into Gordon. Well, this isn't going to get given, is it?
Would you be happy if that's given against you?
I just don't know now what constitutes penalty and what isn't.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if that's given against, would you be happy?
Well, because from the defender point of view, he's gone in, tried to go shoulder to shoulder, but it's not really shoulder to shoulder. I mean, if that's in the middle of the pitch, would the referee give a free kick?
Well,
for either team, I think it would.
Yeah.
Gusto is going off, the right back. I think James might be going to full back, that would make sense, and Enzo Fernandez is on in midfield. Newcastle 2, Chelsea 1. 55 minutes. Just waiting for the match to restart from the goal kick, which is short from Chalabar to Sanchez. And into the middle it goes. Tenali's header goes backwards. Cher heads it on. And James plays it forwards, and they've got runners here, and Chow back to Ramsdale.
Did well, stood big and strong.
We had João Pedro at his back. We'll get Sunderland team news in a moment at Brighton. Commentary coming up at 3 here on BBC Radio Newcastle. Murphy heads it straight onto the thigh of Cucurella ahead of the halfway line. Newcastle losing possession there. Gordon with a high press. Bruno nutmegged by Caicedo as he tried to win it. Palmer, Chelsea, looking confident and finding Pedro Neto, far side of the penalty area. James blocked by Cher, behind for a corner kick, which they're thinking about taking quickly. So we'll continue here at St James's Park, and it has been taken quickly. 2-1 United lead. Palmer to Neto, back to Cucurella, and Caicedo in the middle. Enzo Fernandez, first touch is coming on, then he sends over a cross, it's beaten everybody. Goal kick, Chelsea applying the pressure after getting one back through that Reece James free kick. Now let's go to the south coast. Sunderland away at Brighton, and Nick Barnes has the team news.
Thanks, Razor. 3 changes. Roofs in goal, back 4 of Mukiele, Ballard, Alderete and Hume will play left back. Xhaka, Hertrauder comes into midfield. Lefay, the wingers are Chris Rigg and Simon Adingra, with Broby up front, and Dennis Sirkin returns on the bench, as does Hjelde this afternoon.
Tonali finds Miley, his ball inside, it's diverted away from Bruno, back to Sanchez. Lifted up and Miley gets there before Garnacho, but Caicedo's won it. Enzo Fernandez to Chalobah. It's a more confident Chelsea, it's a better Chelsea that we're seeing, as we started to see before the first half finished, but they allowed them away back into the game with the free kick that they conceded, finished by Reece James with such precision. Lewis Hall with an interception, chance to attack with Gordon over halfway. Hall on the outside, and now support from Ramsey. Hall finds Ramsey, oh, it's just ahead of Baltimore with the cross.
Oh, it's a huge
gap.
gap.
Big gap now, and 4 Chelsea players in the attack. 4 back for United. Pedro Neto across the penalty area for Garnacho, back to Neto. Ramsdale, important save. It's come to Garnacho on the rebound, and Miley dispossesses Garnacho, and Miley brings it into the corner, tries to clear. Cucurella and Murphy collide, play goes on. Chelsea with Fernandez on the ropes a bit here. Could have seen their lead wiped out, not for the first time this season. Cross from the right, headed away by Cher. Chalobah out to Cucurella and back to the goalkeeper, who's in the middle of the Chelsea half. Got to ride this out, this tough period. Ramsey, he's just won it, no foul. Again, Chelsea expecting a decision, which they don't get. Bruno sent tumbling by Caicedo. Newcastle get a decision from Andy Madley.
Fernandez just as weak as water.
And that was a foul on Bruno. To the right of the centre circle on halfway.
Maresca's been booked. Been shown a yellow card.
He's angry with his team in the first half. He's annoyed with the referee there. But I can't remember a team that every time there was contact, they just stop and look at the referee. There was once in the first half when Newcastle had a counter-attack and Chelsea players stopped and allowed it to proceed because they were expecting it to be brought back. Chow up to Murphy, lets it run through his legs, he's away from Cucurella. Murphy, as Cucurella gets back at him, and Murphy's cross hits the shins of the fullback and goes for a throw near the corner flag. Good wing play by Jacob Murphy. Newcastle 2-1 up. Ramsdale in goal, Miley, Chow, Cher, Hall, Bruno, Tonali, Ramsey, Murphy, Gordon, Voltemada, and a bench of Ruddy, Joelinton, Wissa, Barnes, Elanga, Willock, Alex Murphy, Shahar and Neve. Miley to Tonali, and Tonali knocks it up the line, tries to go over the other side of Garnacho. His cross is blocked. It's a powerful play from Tonali, and he's won it back here from Caicedo. Ramsey to Murphy, lifts it over to the far side, but there's nobody there in black and white. It's a Chelsea throw, a few yards ahead of the corner flag on their right, in front of the east stand. Chelsea, Sanchez in goal, James now at full-back, Chalobah, Fofana, Cucurella, Fernandez and Caicedo, Neto, Palmer, Garnacho, João Pedro. They take the throw, Ramsey makes a block, tries to find Voltemada. It's away inside, Bruno on his chest. Now Ramsey, they've done well to win it back, and Ramsey with a bit of skill to find space and a ball to Bruno, but the skipper's lost it. And Cher has taken down João Pedro. Under the nose of the referee, he's going to get booked, Fabian Cher. He is adamant that he got the ball.
Took his time, the referee, didn't he? Didn't get the ball.
Fabian Cher goes into Andy Madley's book. An hour has been played. Up to João Pedro, who held a deeper position for centre forward. Back to his defenders. Palmer here, loses out to Chow. Tonali gets his head up. Oh, can't find Murphy. Bruno back to Tonali. Chelsea with a player down. Palmer as Tonali carries it out to the right wing and ends up off the pitch. Chelsea want the ball back, and they've got two players trying to grab it off Tonali. It's becoming a bit of a bad-tempered affair, this.
You think?
Yeah. Tonali's gone down, but he's gone onto the pitch to go down to stop the game. If he needs treatment, he then has to go off for 30 seconds, so they have to play with 10 men. Murphy helps him up. He's looked more like the Sandro Tonali that we've been so used to seeing after a spell recently where, following some illness, he hasn't quite appeared to be 100%. He was phenomenal the other night after coming on. João Pedro, good skill, flicking the ball away and then playing it back to Cucurella. Voltemada and Gordon closing down. Sanchez headed back there by Chow. Oh, Cher went to play it, could have let it run, and João Pedro in the centre circle, around towards Garnacho, but Miley slides in to stop it reaching the Argentinian. Palmer gets it to Garnacho this time, taking on Miley, heads for the goal line, and it's behind. Is that goal kick or it's corner?
Good game now, isn't it?
Cher or Chow who put it behind. They both went flying in. Chelsea corner on the near side. It's a test of Newcastle's resolve here, of game management, yes, but also the ability to defend set pieces, which has been a problem. They've scored from set pieces many times this season, but they've got to defend them. And here's the corner, which Miley clears away from in front of the line. Now Gordon, there's not many blue back. There's Ramsey through the middle, Gordon on halfway. It's too close to the keeper. Tried to bend it with the outside of his right boot, whip it from the wide position into the middle for Ramsey, but he didn't get the bend on it. Cleared by Sanchez, and Ramsdale out to Miley, and they're back in Chelsea's half with Bruno. Steps inside away from Palmer, needs support, back it goes to Tonali. Miley to Murphy, now Bruno, flicks it for Murphy, on for Voltemada to try and chase after as he blocked off. Now Ramsey with a push, but it's offside actually from the through ball. And still 2-1 to Newcastle United. And they'll be really frustrated, won't they, that, you know, the free kick, it was a foul by Ramsey, soft one, but foul by Ramsey on Palmer. To have that really comfortable lead, to have played so well in the first half, and now their lead is... Well, is it fragile, would you say, because of the way that Chelsea have put them under pressure? A one-goal advantage that they have at the moment. João Pedro to his right to Fernandes. Neto to Enzo on the edge of the box. James to Neto, back again. James's deep cross. Miley again.
Well played, son.
In front of Garnacho. Heads it away, back out to the far side of the pitch, the Chelsea right wing. Caicedo, Voltemada on his shoulder, can't come inside, goes back out to Neto. And they're playing a deep game at the moment, Newcastle. Garnacho tried to step over, loses it to Murphy. He's got to find a black and white shirt, Murphy. It's Voltemada, Tonali, quickly onto Ramsey, and wide to Gordon. They've worked that really well. Anthony Gordon brings the ball into the attacking third, and he's got support. Ramsey edge of the area, back to Gordon. Gordon's cross. There's no one.
Nobody in there.
Hall wanted it rolled a couple of yards just inside, and they committed players forwards, and now these boys have got to get back. João Pedro's headed it inside and away from Chow. João Pedro up against Ramsdale, finishes. Chelsea have come back from 2-0 down. It didn't seem likely at half-time, but Newcastle with another lead that they have let slip. At least there is still time to get back in front, and it's a rare situation involving Malik Chow, who lost out to João Pedro, and a player who could have been in black and white rather than blue this afternoon has run through, slotted it past Aaron Ramsdale, and it's Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 2.
Good finish, just out-muscled Chow, didn't he? Don't see that too many times. Keeper does great, he sees one-on-one, loses his footing a little bit, Chow, slips, still a good finish.
It was 2-0 at half-time, it should have been 3 or 4, and now it's 2-2. They've let Chelsea back into the match. And after one of their best halves, one of their best performances of the season, the second 45, it's not as if they've been poor when they've gone forwards, they've still carried a threat, but a free kick, and now a quick ball up the pitch from the goalkeeper, who had players running back to congratulate him, Robert Sanchez, after the goal was scored, and Newcastle's lead erased. There's going to be some changes. We're going to see Wissa, Barnes and Elanga possibly. Chow beats João Pedro in the air that time, and then makes a second challenge, and Tonali looks for Ramsey, but they lose it in midfield, Newcastle. And a layoff now to Palmer, and they are a bit stretched here. Garnacho on the outside of Miley. Garnacho over the top, near side of the goal.
He's never scoring from there.
Well, the second Chelsea goal was probably coming. They had attacked with good intent and purpose in the second half. Bruno to Tonali here, who's pulled back. A free kick in the middle of their own half, which they want to get on with and take. Wissa's ready. You know, we wouldn't expect Voltemada to get his hat-trick, but he could have had it in the first half. Free kick is taken because it has to be retaken because the ball was moving. Barnes and Elanga are coming on. It's a triple change. Murphy to Voltemada. He's got Chalabar all over him. Can't hold it up. Cucurella goes back to Sanchez. And Lewis Hall watching this one. Pedro Neto on his shoulder. Hall's header. Ramsey had got back, dropped in. He lifts it forwards to Gordon, headed inside to Tonali, and they're looking back for Gordon again with that return pass. Chelsea get it clear, but straight to Tonali. Ramsey on the far touchline, inside to Hall. Good run by Lewis Hall. Still going. Free kick. Brought back for the initial challenge when he was impeded. He kept his footing, tried to ride another challenge, then got tackled. And fair play to the referee for bringing it back. The first one was a foul.
Second one wasn't.
No. Caicedo. Surprise, surprise. Was there a yellow card there?
Yeah.
Must be for Caicedo, yeah. 20 minutes to play on BBC Radio Newcastle. Sunderland away at Brighton to follow at 3. We'll start the red and white build-up after the final whistle here. They were 2-0 up, and now it's 2-2. They threw a lot of players forwards in the attack before Chelsea countered and got the second goal. And they have 3 players ready to come on, but a free kick first. Cher, Gordon and Hall are next to the ball. Or will it be substitutions first? The officials putting the numbers in. They're going to take the free kick. It is a couple of yards back from the edge of the box, and it's left of centre, but within the width of the penalty box. The 18-yard line. Looks like they're going to leave it for Fabian Cher to strike. We want one of his quality efforts, don't we? It is Cher, and that wasn't one of those. That was really disappointing from a player who normally gives you so much more. Anthony Gordon, who was really at it in the first half and has continued in the second half, is withdrawn in the 72nd minute, replaced by Harvey Barnes. Nick Voltemada, 2 goals, no hat-trick. But a terrific first half from him, replaced by Johan Wissa, and Anthony Elanga is on in place of Jacob Murphy. So he's changed the front 3. Chow wins a header, but it's collected by Palmer and Garnacho. Having changed the front 3, they're now thinking about defending Newcastle. And 4-5-1 situation at the moment. Possession for Chelsea in the centre circle. Barnes and Ramsey put pressure on. Fofana, known to Barnes from their time at Leicester. Elanga here chasing after it with Cucurella. That's gone out. Elanga with the speed to stop Cucurella from getting away. Bruno's given it to Cucurella from the United throw, and he's helped to win it back with a challenge. Miley now to Bruno through the legs of his man, and Wissa to Bruno. That's really good play, and Barnes involved for the first time with the ball at his feet. Edge of the area, Harvey Barnes now into the box. There's a challenge on Barnes.
No chance.
Given. He looks at the referee, but it's only a goal kick.
Tell you what, he's lucky he doesn't get booked for that. That's a dive.
Do you think he's expecting a leg to come across?
He's expecting a leg to come, it doesn't come, so he just takes off.
Goal kick's taken, but it's got to do it again. Sanchez, not because of VAR. I think were there attacking players in the box?
I have no idea. I haven't got a clue. They've got to wait for everything now.
74 minutes gone at St James's Park, where they did lead by 2-0 after a great first half, but 2 second half Chelsea goals have levelled the match up. Barnes does well, Ramsey does well to play it back to Barnes, trying to create on the outside of Fofana. It's a teasing ball in away from Chalobah with Wissa behind him, and Chow, he slipped for the second goal, was costly. It was unfortunate, but it gave João Pedro a clear run towards the goal. Chalobah there off his chest, now back to Sanchez, and sliced that into the east stand. Lewis Hall goes back to Tanali. BBC Radio Newcastle. Now we've got Total Sport on Monday and on Tuesday, which is the 23rd. So some pre-Christmas football discussion. Latest on Newcastle and Sunderland ahead of the next part of the festive fixture programme. Monday and Tuesday 6 till 8, also on BBC Sounds. Ramsey to Bruno. Miley on the near side from Bruno's ball on the stretch. Miley, he is able to take it. Elanga is up the line. Back it comes to Tanali. Ramsey just inside. Man at his back. Ramsey takes it on well and gives it to Miley. Bruno wanted it, but they delayed the pass and went back to Tanali. Now it's up towards Elanga, sliding. Garnacho stops it reaching Elanga. Newcastle throw. Onto the chest of Elanga from Miley's throw. Chelsea win it. Caicedo carried it across midfield. Lewis Hall tries to nip in ahead of Pedro Neto, but the winger Neto's got there, and at the edge of the area Neto plays it straight at Miley in a great position again, and onto Elanga. He's got Garnacho chasing him down. Elanga, what can he do? Elanga just held on too long, and now Wissa penalised for fouling Garnacho, and Wissa's going to get a yellow card, but that came about because Elanga, I mean,
he just doesn't see it quick enough, does he? He doesn't see it quick enough, though. He just wants to keep running with it.
And Wissa's had to take a booking there. Garnacho had a bit of urgency. Elanga, he's got so much speed, but he wasn't going at full pace. And he didn't know that he was being closed down. Miley intercepts again. Here's Elanga. That's quicker. On to Tanali, who's caught late, but play goes on. Tanali finds Wissa, edge of the area. Through for Harvey Barnes! And it's a corner. Barnes, as he was about to shoot, felt the challenge come in from Reece James. And it's a corner kick. Great play. Elanga, Tanali, Wissa, and Barnes just couldn't get the effort. He was onside. He took a touch. And
it's a great tackle as well, isn't it?
The challenge was made. "12 minutes remaining. Trying to get back in front. A frustrating, really frustrating second half. Lewis Hall's corner. Sanchez gets his hand on the ball. Some appeals for a handball by an outfield player as Chelsea clear it. Cher now onto Bruno. He delivers. João Pedro away. Pedro Neto. Fabian Cher can't challenge. He's been yellow carded. There are black and white shirts back, but the Chelsea counter-attack is so quick. And it's Neto onto Garnacho. Tenali's block. And Tanali not only a block, but he races out to the far touchline to stop it going out. And Bruno here wins a free kick. Wanted an advantage. Oh, that was such a big moment, wasn't it? Good play though, up the right side, leading to the Barnes chance. John Anderson. That last attack. Cole Palmer going off, replaced by the 21-year-old Brazilian midfielder Andre Santos. Palmer still finding his fitness. Cher to Ramsdale and Chow. Has to go back to the goalkeeper. There's nothing there up the near touchline. Miley had moved inside. Elanga was high. And Elanga stays high, now runs into the middle as Wissa makes his move. Elanga beaten in the air by Cucurella. And Garnacho A ball across the pitch, which Chelsea managed to keep in their possession only just. And it's helped on by Caicedo to Enzo Fernandez, and back to Caicedo, making his way to the edge of the area. Moises Caicedo! Just wide.
Whoa. Opened up, didn't it? Thankfully, it's always going away, drifting away from Ramsdale's left-hand post.
Chow up to Elanga, back to Bruno, dispossessed, wasn't unfortunately the best ball to Bruno. João Pedro, edge of the box, trying to get a curler away, it's blocked, and it's a bouncing ball that Barnes gets to. He finds Bruno, who felt he was being fouled. Referee says not. João Pedro to Garnacho. Garnacho saved at the near post by Ramsdale, and Chow puts it behind. Bruno pleading with the referee. But that's been
every time you fall over, it's not a free kick.
Nobody on either post. Chelsea players just back from the penalty spot beyond it. There's one in the 6-yard box. Movement now towards the front post. Corners lifted in, and behind at the near side. It was off Cucurella. Curly head. Cucurella. And now Andre Santos impedes Anthony Elanga. Referee has stopped Aaron Ramsdale from taking the goal kick, and he boots Andre Santos.
Many players have been booked.
I'll find out for you. 8 minutes remaining. 2-2.
It's been brilliant. It's been a great game.
How frustrated are you with the way that Chelsea?
Well, we could have been out of sight in the second half, in the first half.
Chelsea have played some good stuff in the second. Newcastle's first half performance was excellent. Ramsdale gives Chow a shout for a floated ball to the edge of the box, and he claims, throws it out to the left-hand side, the far side of the pitch. Foul on Cher by João Pedro. He goes into the book. That is 6 Chelsea yellow cards and 2 Newcastle yellows.
It's amazing, you know, because there hasn't really been a bad tackle in the game, has there? Silly little things.
Tonali next to the centre circle. Tonali floated across. Malik Chow on his chest. Malik Chow across goal. Oh, it's a bit of pinball. Fabian Cher. No.
Didn't come down, did it? Just wouldn't drop for him.
Cher might have a bit of cramp. Hopefully that's all it is. One Chelsea player cleared it on to
the other,
but he was clear. It was back towards his own goal.
Yeah.
He got a bit lucky there. Reece James very sportingly helps Fabian Cher onto his feet. Lewis Hall has been terrific, hasn't he? There's still 6 minutes of normal time to play. We don't know how the game's going to finish, which way it will go, or will it stay 2-2? But after missing the other night, they needed him back, and he's given a great performance so far.
Yeah, look, there's been a lot of good performances out there. First half was absolutely excellent, totally dominated. Should have been out of sight, really.
Two all on BBC Radio Newcastle. Chow to Bruno. He's got to be careful not to lose it in there. He's done very well for Tonali. Now Elanga. On to Bruno. Good ball by Elanga. Whisser in the middle. Harvey Barnes back post! Oh, Barnes! First time off the advertising board behind the goal.
What a goal that would have been.
Oh, Barnes just needed to get it on target, and it would have been a great Newcastle United goal. Wonderful move and a brilliant ball across for Barnes. He's been involved in 2 big chances, and now Chelsea looking to create one of their own. Garnacho, they've got him in. Garnacho.
He's Maresca's gone absolutely light down there.
Jason Tindall being told off for being pitch side next to Eddie Howe. Not allowed to do that, only allowed 1. Tindall sent Howe back to the bench. And it's the assistant manager giving the instructions at the moment. Wissa climbs. Fofana wins the header. Miley, another good win. And Miley's got it again inside to Tonali. And Ramsey, he's played well. Another one, Jacob Ramsey. Tackle on in there by Caicedo. Now Hall's pulled back.
There's another yellow.
So he's the 3rd Newcastle player to be cautioned. And he's got to get through 4 minutes plus probably a fair bit of additional time. Lewis Hall. Without another bookable offence. This could still go either way, but they should have been clear at half-time, and that's the frustrating thing. As Enzo Fernandez takes one down, edge of the area, Garnacho doesn't shoot this time, goes back to Cucurella, then it's returned to Garnacho, and twists and turns, Miley blocks the cross, Garnacho keeps it in, Chalobah to Fofana. Chalobah to Fofana again, and Tonali, he's all over Caicedo. That'll be a free kick. Yeah.
Tell you what, he's a player. Strong in there, isn't he? Quick as well.
He's got a bit of nastiness about him, Moises Caicedo, but he's
a good player.
Top player.
Mind you, so he should be for 100 million.
Caicedo now, square to Cucurella. 88th minute on BBC Radio Newcastle as Cucurella makes a run inside. Elanga gets back to block well, the corner. Sunderland away at Brighton at 3. Build up from the Amex Stadium with Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett coming shortly, and then commentary will follow. Joe Willock will be brought on shortly in a late change by Eddie Howe, Newcastle's 4th. Another lead thrown away, this time a half-time lead. And if the best they can get out of this is a draw, well, that's better than conceding again here. James, corner clipped in, Ramsdale catches, close to the crossbar. Elanga with a run through the middle. Oh, what a throw from Ramsdale. Elanga, chance to run. Cucurella with him. Elanga, edge of the area. Elanga could just square it. Elanga's put it.
All he had to do was square it.
He had Barnes coming in on the right.
He had Wissa there as well.
Oh, Elanga was a great run. And there's not many that have got the speed to get up the pitch with in a flash like he did. And Ramsdale, credit for the throw, but he just had to either roll it back to Wissa or play it across to Barnes, and he's curled it a yard or so wide. Oh, Elanga, you feel for him.
And Willock's come on for Ramsey. He's done all right again today.
He's played well. Feel for Elanga, but he just had to pass it. Bruno. Oh, he delayed the pass and has lost it. Tonali fouled by Caicedo.
I didn't see that. I don't see that at all.
Just I think they sort of both slipped, didn't they? But Bruno dallied a bit.
There's no foul in there.
Three big chances they've had since Chelsea had their equaliser. 90th minute. Bruno, diagonal free kick. Headed on. Oh, Willock can't get there. Elanga back into the middle. Willock almost got on the end of it, couldn't. It came to Elanga, who put it back into the centre, and it's come out for a throw on the near side. Bruno with a cross away by the first defender, Chalabar, and inside now Tanali, and back to Hall. 5 minutes added. Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 2. Tanali looking for Chow, headed on, Harvey Barnes, just couldn't reach it. Second half just full of frustration. Big chances there, and a 2-0 lead at the break. Cancelled out by Chelsea. That Elanga run.
Oh, how quick did he get up the pitch?
There were 2 chasing him, and well, they're not going to catch him. They did well to just about keep up with him. He cut inside, and 2 options for the pass as well. Cher jumps in to try and win it from João Pedro, can't. And Willock gets close to Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea play it on. João Pedro, that's gone behind. He was beaten to that goal kick.
Neto's been absolutely awful.
Well, there's still 3.5 minutes. And Hall's on a yellow card up against Neto. They won it in added on time on Wednesday. They've still got the chance to do that this afternoon. Wissa tries to head on, but second favourite there against Chalabar. Miley forwards, Tenali slides in after Chelsea send it back the other way. It's a throw. Garnacho leaves for Cucurella in Newcastle's half. Hasn't taken it yet. Short to Andre Santos. Goes on the outside of Lewis Miley, who uses his size, wins it back, sends it forwards. Wissa with a header on, Barnes chasing, couldn't quite get there, and Fofana back to Sanchez. Forwards to Caicedo. Tenali's given everything and is really starting to feel it now. And Chalabar out to the near touchline to Garnacho. Tanali makes a challenge on Andre Santos, but it's played back to Caicedo. Always hit it against the shins of Willock. Chelsea get a bit lucky because it goes to another blue shirt. Neto. Oh, deep cross from the far side, gathered by Ramsdale. It's hard in mouth stuff. It wasn't a great delivery, but it's happened too many times this season that it's gone wrong from that situation. Here's Elanga running on the outside of Cucurella. Elanga delivers the ball. Not the worst cross from Elanga. And Bruno and Cucurella have a bit of afters there after a collision. Garnacho caught by Miley on halfway, quickly taken free kick by Chelsea. 1.5 minutes of the 5 to play. Chow comes across, and Garnacho was always going to jump out of the way of Malik Chow's sliding tackle. It's a Chelsea throw. But they go backwards with it. It's these late moments, set pieces, balls into the box where they've seen a lead evaporate, points taken away from them. A minute remaining. BBC Radio Newcastle 2-2. Just got to defend this, and at half-time getting a point from this would have been a disappointment. But they'll want to hold on to it here. Garnacho, Elanga's there, so is Bruno, trying to block any run up the line. Chelsea come inside. Fofana, Willock trying to pinch it. He has for Wissa. One last chance maybe. Willock to Bruno. It needs to go. It's lifted out to the left, looking for Barnes. Barnes trying to get on it. Oh, was he pulled down? Was he pulled down? Referee looks at the assistant and lets play go on. And Newcastle think that Barnes was pulled back as he tried to get on an edge of the area. VAR might be looking. looking, but Chelsea in the meantime attack. They've got to defend. Chow with a header. Tonali down holding his head. Whistle's gone. Now let's see. Eddie Howe's having a word by the edge of the pitch. VAR Peter Banks might have a big decision to make. Was there much contact? Take another look. It was James on Barnes. Well, VAR are checking properly. VAR looking for denial of goal scoring opportunity, says the purple and white graphics on the big screen. Johan Wisser's grabbed the ball. It's like he's going to take a penalty. I'm not sure this will be given, but there is contact. I don't know if he just tries to sort of scoop his arm around Barnes, and maybe, you know, at that sort of speed it doesn't take a lot. I would be surprised if this was given. What's the referee going to do? Andy Madley put his whistle to his lips. No penalty.
Well, it was outside the box anyway.
Oh, sorry, yeah, you're right.
It was never a penalty.
Well, he carried on into the box, I beg your pardon. Yeah, just at the edge of the area. It was James who was there with Barnes, so it would have been a free kick, not a penalty. Anyway, it's a free kick for Newcastle at the other end, just outside the box. Coincidentally, pretty much the same position, but at the other end of the field. And we're now into a 97th minute. How long Andy Madley will allow play to continue for, I don't know. Ramsdale.
That's it.
Long free kick, not even the chance to attack. He's not exactly their favourite referee, the supporters. He's brought the game to an end. It's finished 2-2. But based on the first half performance, Ando, that's a disappointment, because they were excellent and they should have been further ahead than just 2-0. And they've let slip another lead, and in this case a 2-goal advantage.
Yeah, look, I thought we were exceptional first half. Top played really, really well. Probably should have been out of sight. Voltamadas had a chance for the hat-trick. Miley's had a header where really should have done better with, and that would have put us beyond it, you would suppose. Look, it was a great game. It was an absolutely fabulous game. Second half was end-to-end stuff. Fair play to Chelsea, they got themselves back into it. But Eddie Howe will be really, really disappointed that we've let a 2-goal lead slip.
Big chances at the end. Barnes was almost in, but Reece James with some brilliant defending. But the biggest one, I mean, there was the Barnes effort back post on the volley after a good move up this near side. But the big one was Elanga with Ramsdale's huge throw. Elanga's brilliant pace. Carried it on, did well, cut inside, and then you think, just lay it off for Wisser, square it for Barnes, and he's tried to put it in the bottom corner and he's missed.
Yeah, I mean, his pace to get up there was unbelievable. But then it's about your decision making. You know, he had two runners to his right hand side. All he's got to do is roll one of them in. He goes for the shot and he puts it wide, but he backed himself, took it on. Unfortunately, he went the wrong side of the post.
To get a point from this at the end of a week that started really badly, saw them reach a semi-final. Has there been a step forward in terms of performance levels from last week? You would say on the first half, yes, and although they let Chelsea back into this, overall it's a million times better than last Sunday.
Yeah, it is. Look at it. It was always going to be better than last week. You know, Corman's first half was, you didn't see that coming, to be fair. You know, they were absolutely exceptional. They swarmed all over Chelsea, got in and around them, roughed them up, were more physical. Chelsea were sent out early at the start of the second half. Got themselves a goal right at the start, 49 minutes, and then they pressed, but I thought we finished strongly again. But it's disappointing. You know, you're 2-0 up at home, you're kicking down the hill, you think we'll go on and we'll win it. but unfortunately we didn't, and you'd have to say it's 2 points drop.
Yeah, missed opportunity this afternoon against Chelsea. Baltimore's first half double, he could have had a hat-trick. They could have been 3 or 4 ahead at the break. Chelsea, through James's free kick, got back into it, and then João Pedro, after Newcastle had committed players forwards, and then on the counter, João slipped, João Pedro finished well beyond Ramsdale. Some big chances at the end to get back in front, not taken, and they have to settle for a point. Reaction from Eddie Howe will go on BBC Sound. Search for Newcastle United or find us on X at BBC Newcastle to listen to the manager's thoughts. We'll also play you some of the interview at half-time in Sunderland's match away at Brighton, and commentary from the Amex Stadium on the way from 3 with Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett. Build-up coming next here at St James's Park as Newcastle's players make their way back into the changing room after a lap of appreciation. It's finished. Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 2.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
You do have a Christmas connection with your name. What do you drink by the fireside? Smooth and velvety.
Baileys! That is an absolute win. Do you know what I used to say? My chat-up line. Just imagine we've met on a night out. You're looking into my eyes. The name's Matt Bailey. Like the drink, only smoother.
And then I would reply with a...
Oh, gosh. Oh, God. Right, do that sound again, Pete. I've gone all red. I'm flushed.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
Weekdays from 6. Just ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Newcastle. Total Sport Northeast.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
And welcome back to the South Coast. It's actually a very, very nice day. It's cold, but it's one of those crisp. You almost say it's an autumn day rather than winter's day, wouldn't you? The weather's just all over the place at the moment.
It's fresh.
It's fresh, but it's been a beautiful morning. We've not seen the sea apart from outside the train window as it crossed the viaduct leaving Brighton station. There was a glimmer of water in the distance, but we've not been to the beach today. Blue skies above us, as I say. It's a good afternoon for football. Sunderland out warming up at the moment. They'll be playing in their black third kit this afternoon. The teams: Ruffs in goal for Sunderland, back four, Michele, Ballard, Alderete and Hume. Hume will play at left back. Xhaka, Hertrauder comes in for Siddiqui. Then Rigg and Adingra on the wings this afternoon. Lefay and Broby up front. The bench: Patterson, Dennis Serkins back in the squad, Neil, Mienda, Isidore Mundle, Leo Hjelde back in the squad, Harrison Jones is in the squad, and Habib Diarra is on the bench as well. So a number of faces that we've not seen for a while involved.